Hello and welcome to Bay 1, this is Jafal Maraxi. We're going to be doing a second look at building the Tier 2 SMG Hovercraft. So someone pointed out that there was an issue with the actual CPU that was in use on this design, and thinking about it, I do agree that the version that is posted is a little bit high on the CPU use. So I'm just going to show you a couple of edits that you can do to drop the CPU down and make it into a more usable design for most players. So probably the first thing we're going to do is strip out, you see where I just put them back in, strip out all of these. So each of these thrusters is another 11 CPU. At the moment we're 607, so taking out these 5 thrusters, that immediately brings us back down to 552. 552 CPU is equivalent to, well, let me find out. Let's go to the wiki and pull that information up. 552 is equivalent to level 13, and that single edit would mean this is now a level 13 build. But we want to get it down below that, so the next edit on this design would be to pull out this set of hover blades next to the pilot seat here. So let's just remove those. We can always add them back in later as we gain levels. Now that brings us down to 510. 510 CPU is equivalent to level 9. If we want to drop that even lower, let's pull off the radar. Not quite enough. That's not going to be enough to drop us down another level. We'll need to get another few CPU off that. So let's just stick the radar back on there. Something we definitely can do is the back set of guns on here aren't really going to be all that effective because they're kind of being blocked by the front guns here. So if we pull those two off, that's 486. 486 is equivalent to level 7 or level 7-ish. Still want to drop a little bit more? Let's go and pull off these turrets. And what we're going to do here is actually drop these gun mounts down. And we're going to expand the turrets out around this section here. So let's pull these blocks. I'm just going to leave these as the higher level blocks at the moment. That was using a connection to the center point, but the way we're going to rebuild this is that block's coming off. We're going to connect it on that side. This little thing in here is going to be changed so that it then connects to the center part of the bot. So we still got the turret effect. Although let's change this block to prism, and we're going to do the same on this side. Hopefully it still keeps some of the armor intact. You're going to end up with an issue with that armor, but we can fix that as well. What were we doing here? We need to pull off this. Here we go. Like so. And of course that block then becomes a prism that goes back and it anchors against that point. And of course, yeah, we've got the issue with these blocks, so how can we fix that? Well, this block can actually be rotated, so it's like this. So you still maintain that connection. And now this actually improves the fire arc front to back with these guns. If you want to, so we're down to what, 470 CPU? 470 is around level 5. If you wanted to add another gun on there to increase firepower, we can actually put one right in the middle there. Most of the fire arcs aren't actually going to be blocked. It's not going to benefit from a lot of the turreting, but you've got all of these blocks between it anyway. So let's go and give this a test run and see how this works. It looks like the Twitch stream has the wrong title. Okay, so we lose a little bit of the speed, and it's slightly more wallowy because we're missing those rear hovers. But that's something where, as you unlock CPU, you can add those back on. And this also takes some elements of the Almond class in that you're using a stepped layer for the guns. But anyway, let's go and run around. If you had the CPU, you could actually just put one thruster in the middle at the front. It would help out with speed enormously. What I'm probably going to do on this in a second is actually put a speed thing, a speedometer on the back of it, so you can actually see the impact that making those kinds of adjustments have. Alright, looks like some combat and shit going on over there. Come on, where is everyone? Someone down there? Let's get him. Yeah, that was my bad gameplay. Let's try that again. Actually, before we do that, we're going to have to bear in mind that it's actually going to add some CPU onto the design. So where did we put the speedo, or tachometer, or whatever we want to call it? Oh, there it is, okay. So I'm just going to dump this on the design somewhere. I'm going to invert this block so that I can just attach it to the back. Why is that upside down? Well, we just want it attached onto there for now. Alright, so at the moment, because of the hover blades, we're going to be limited to 62 miles per hour, or mph. If we put on one thruster here, and of course I'm using a tier 2 thruster, you could use a tier 1 for this, less effect, but actually let's go and buy a tier 1, so that we can go through the impact of the different thrusters. So we're looking for anything better than 62 miles per hour. So I'm going to do this in practice mode. And you'll see it in the near the bottom left corner. So obviously going downhill, we've got that one thruster on here. Just that one thruster is taking us up to 113. What happens when we take that off? It'd be interesting to see if the speed reflections are actually accurate, so... Alright, let's pull that one thruster off and go back to practice. Okay, so it appears that in practice, it's going... It seems wrong. Okay, that's a little bit odd. Alright. So averaging 112. Interesting. Let's try that test again with the one thruster. So we need to get down here so that we can make sure that we're on a level surface when doing these tests. Stop moving, and okay, let's accelerate up. So 114, so that's only adding on 2 miles per hour. Let's see what 2 of those does. I need to grab a second one. No, I'm actually doing research instead of just relying on what I know. No, didn't want to battle, so practice. Just need to check my phone in a second. I'm supposed to be going out in a couple of minutes. We'll do it this way. Works either way. So that's bringing us up to about 117 reliably until we start hitting slopes. Let's see if we can just flip this back over so that we can... There we go. Speed test. $118 is about the top speed, 117, let's try that. Now let's switch to using a single tier 2 thruster, see what difference that makes. Just take those out, put one of these in place. And the difference in terms of thrust, you've got, that is 48 and that's 90, so that should be twice as effective almost as just a single one. So let's practice. So average cruising speed with the one thruster is a little bit higher. I'm hitting about 120 with just the one thruster. So it's increasing my top speed by not that much. So now let's see what happens when we put 2 on there. Now we're averaging about 124. 124 is a good speed, I'd say that's a constant there. So the 2 thrusters increases your top speed by about 10 miles per hour, which may not seem like a lot, but it makes a big difference in terms of getting to the action. I want to see what the impact of putting yet another one on there, a third one, is now. Fun experiments. So yeah, losing those thrusters doesn't have a huge impact on your top speed. It does make a difference though. We'll see if there's like a cumulative effect with those in terms of the speed up. Okay, and go. So that one's adding about another 4 miles per hour, so it's hitting 128, I would say would be the safe speed before it start turning, twisting around and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, 128, you see the 8 kind of staying there. It's bouncing a little bit, but alright, so about 4 miles per hour per thruster would be a good estimate there. Anyway, that's kind of off track. Let's take these off. And let's take that thing off as well. And just do one last battle with the modified version of this. Actually, no. Let's pull that one out. So we're down to the 470 CPU build, which 470 should be about level 6. Hopefully you'll be level 6 by the time you get to tier 2 anyway. This also means I'm not going to be any faster than the other bots here at the moment. But it also helps to prevent you from getting ahead. Yeah, drop down a little bit. Yeah, so probably the first 2 upgrades on my side, out of my choice, would be to get those hover blades on. Or get that other gun put in the center on the middle at the bottom. Put the other 2 hover blades on, then worry about the thrusters, because the hover blades are there for redundancy. That'll keep you alive almost a little bit longer. We're going to run around the back here. Here we go. Alright, let's miss my spot, come on. Yay! That's why not to stick around in front of a plasma. No, he's crippled at least. So am I, but whatever. I still got 3 kills. There we go, he's down. No, 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 no. Oh, I'm dead. Whatever. Anyway. Yeah, so those are the edits in terms of getting the CPU down, and obviously to raise the tier up you just have to reverse those edits. But yeah, thank you for the person that pointed that out on Reddit, which was Tony303. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure there was a video chronicling what you can do to actually reduce the CPU down. In some people would actually argue that having the guns like that underneath is actually a little bit better in terms of the design. It really comes down to personal preference, but I'm certainly not going to gainsay anyone that wants to try using that particular variation. Anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.